What's up, my fisters? Today I'm going to be talking about how I hit one above all playing only Iron Fist, basically, because I have a negative win rate on every other champion. This is going to be sort of like a guide story on how I did it. So if you want to listen to something in the background while you're playing Marvel Rivals or doing something else, or if you're driving in your car, this is the video / audiobook for you on just how you can get one above all. All you have to do is go to my training course. I'm just kidding. It's all free for you right here on YouTube. I also did hit rank 1 Iron Fist according to this site. So technically, according to this site, I am the rank 1 Iron Fist in the world. But without ado, let's begin on how I did it. So my background in hero FPSs like Overwatch was I'm literally just a gold player. I probably could get diamond in Overwatch, but I never really cared for it. But I was gold in Overwatch. I think I just played like Junkrat or something, like really easy champions. I didn't really care that much. I was just having fun. Oh, I did actually play Genji. Yes, I did play Genji, Torbjorn, etc. I think I liked Lucio a lot. And then when it comes to Valorant, let's just say, hey, if I committed to that game, I could probably get diamond, but God knows my aim is awful. Like, I try using the AK-47 in that game. I think it's called like Vandal, but I'm just not good at it. Like, I can't hit those headshots like those pros do. I think those pros are crazy at hitting those shots. Like, that game is hard. I can't do it. I also don't have the patience to play those kind of games. Like, I like to just run in and die. So games like that, I don't really have patience. Will say I did peak like gold in it, but at most I could probably get diamond, and then that's kind of it. Now in League, I was challenger. Some say I was rank 1, but that's a MOBA. This game is kind of like an FPS shooter, third-person shooter. So when I started this game, my first champion I was gonna play was Wolverine. I, for some reason, always killed the squishies, but you know, when this game came out, everyone was super bad and you could get away with a lot of things. But apparently he was a tank buster, and I wasn't actually that good at him. Now, I did come into this game thinking that I could get top 500, but I knew what I was bad at, and that was shooting. So therefore, Hela, Winter Soldier, all these champions, heroes that can shoot, I eliminated them out of my champion pool because I am not a good shooter. What I'm good at is game knowledge, adapting heavily to whatever the meta is, how to play specific heroes. If they have a gun, that's not for me. So the way to get around the aiming problem for me was to play only melee characters or healers that had really easy healing, like Rocket, etc., right? So in Season 0, I actually did main Magic. Magic actually had a very high win rate in... Actually, she did have a very high win rate in all ratings. But at the higher elo, like right now, I actually don't think she's that good because 1, she doesn't have too much mobility. 2, she's actually very squishy, and champions like Hela, Winter Soldier can easily kill her, Namor, etc. Like the 3 horsemen in high elo is literally Hela, Namor, and Winter Soldier. They're very high burst damage with range and very good survivability unless you're Hela. She's kind of like a glass cannon, but she can literally 2-shot you, so it's like, okay. So if you're playing Magic into that, you're just gonna die with people with really good aim. But of course, if you're playing Iron Fist, there's a different story, which I'll get into. I do believe Magic is a really good low elo stomper because she has very high survivability, always getting a health damage shield when she does damage. Of course, in high elo, if she does mess up her one-shot combo, I don't know, I think she's kind of useless. Her ultimate is really good, I'll say that. But like I said, low elo, no one can hit her because, you know, they kind of suck. So she has very high survivability in low elo. So I think I got to platinum or diamond with her, and then Season 0 ended. And then at this point, I was kind of like a decent player, but not like a high elo player. But my friends who were top 500 in Overwatch, like I was friends with them, and they would stream on Discord and I would watch them, and then I would ask them a bunch of questions like, hey, how do you like do this and stuff like that. So I did get a bit of coaching on how to play these hero shooters and how to use ultimates at the right times, ultimate economy. You know, this game is very heavy dependent on how you use your ultimate. Like, it's actually not a lot of skirmishing. It's about who can trade ultimates better. It's kind of funny. Or what champions can kill each other without having to use ultimates, such as Hela, right? Namor can go behind your supports and just throw 2 squids and 2-tap them. Some games just honestly feel like you're just playing alt charged, and then whoever gets better alt trades wins. It's kind of dumb. But of course, you know, Iron Fist, yeah, we'll talk about him in a bit. So in Season 1, when it came out, my top 500 friends from Overwatch did actually come and play with me on their Smurfs, and then actually boosted me to Grandmaster 3, I think to 1? Or they boosted me to Diamond 1 or something like that. I know they boosted me pretty hard from Platinum to Diamond. 1 or Grandmaster 3. So I got a pass through Diamond is all I know. They did tell me to try and learn Hulk or like tanks like Doctor Strange, Magneto, but I told them that I can only play melee characters, and watching them play actually did help me improve on how they, you know, play the game out, seeing them when they use their ultimates, etc., how coordinated they are when they're playing the game with their team. And at this point, I realized that I was actually really bad at Magic, so I stopped playing her. Because I knew that I couldn't be the best Magic, so why would I keep playing her if I'm not going to be the best at her? Was my kind of like saying. Because I actually couldn't hit her E ability, you know, the dash and the uppercut. I couldn't hit it on people. I knew I was really bad at that. So I said to myself, yeah, there's no point in me playing this champ if I can't even hit that. Like I said, her E is technically a gun. Her dash is a gun, so I'm not going to aim. And I don't want to do that. So I decided, okay, let's try Iron Fist. I did play Storm in season 1 because she was very broken. Like, she did so much damage. Her ultimate was disgusting, etc. And then they didn't really nerf her in higher elo. The problem with her was she kind of just was a battery for your team to do more damage, and she couldn't get any final hits unless she used her ultimate. Even then the enemy would have like a support or something, so it was like, okay, whatever. And she's also vulnerable to champions like Hela and even Namor. So the higher you got with Storm, the worse she kind of did. She was still good, but she wasn't like super OP, which is weird because I actually thought she was OP for a very long time. But now, of course, I had to learn a new champion because Storm was permabanned in every game. So it was time to learn. I don't know why I picked it, but it was Iron Fist. When I first started playing him, I actually thought he was very hard to play. Like, to be honest, I didn't understand any of his abilities. Like, his right click was a block, what could you do, etc. But the more I played him, like, this is season 1 Iron Fist. So this is when he's destroying your supports and one-shotting them in the back line. Not the tank buster, but of course I'll talk about that one later. But yeah, I don't know, this champion, he would just go in your back line, kill your supports, and then either die with them or get out somehow. So yeah, I love the playstyle of like kind of running it down and just suiciding yourself to kill one support. I love that playstyle. I love being a terrorist. It was awesome. Eventually, I did solo my way out of Grandmaster and did hit Celestial 1 peak in season 1, playing basically only Iron Fist. And Cloak and Dagger because she was OP, but like that's only when I had to fill. And even then, I still had a negative win rate on everything but Iron Fist, which is crazy, I know. I actually also did main Adam Warlock in season 1, but that was because of the machine gun turret thing, so you didn't really need to aim, you just the point in direction, hope to god you win, spray and pray. Yeah, after season 1 ended, that's when all the changes happened to Iron Fist, right? Instead of being a cool assassin that would one-shot your supports for no reason, he became a, quote, tank buster. So when he came a tank buster, I thought, whoa, this champion kind of sucks and I have to quit it. Like, I didn't understand how to play it. I was confused myself. I wasn't killing anyone in the back. I was like basically being a tickle monster. Supports weren't dying. I was dying. Something is wrong here, right? So then I switched up and actually started hitting the tanks. And that worked for a bit until I realized, wait, what's the point of hitting these tanks if they're just gonna get healed? And what's the point of hitting these supports if I just can't kill them and they outlive my damage? It just doesn't make sense. And I even saw the Iron Fist win rate went down a decent amount, like 4%, 2% in higher elo, and he was essentially not as good, but apparently he was B tier and he actually had a decent win rate in high elo, like 52% win rate, so that's actually pretty good. But I was like, what? He's still like, I don't know, he just feels bad. Can't kill squishies, tanks just kind of like don't care because they're getting healed. So yeah, I was like, this champion's useless, I can't play him, I have to learn something else. So like for a few days I did learn something else. I just started playing Captain America. He has a better ultimate, he actually can survive, he's a tank himself, and he's kind of like a mosquito like Iron Fist, but he's just, I don't know, overall better champion, right? Same amount as damage as Iron Fist. The only thing that's different is he doesn't have the execute like Iron Fist in a way. But then my friend mentioned that, hey, you should try and watch Trixel. I always need to ban his Iron Fist when I play against him. So I'm like, okay. I watched the replay of Trixel and it was interesting. He would basically still go on the supports, but then also he'd transition into hitting the tanks when he had to, and then just run away when his right click was down. He also would go in about like 6 or 5 seconds when his right click was about to be off cooldown, because you know the 1.5 second change when you auto attack an enemy, it reduces the cooldown of your right click. So you get it after 3 auto attacks, and then yeah, your right click would be back up, which is nice. So watching this replay made me learn a lot about Iron Fist. I'm like, okay, so this is how I have to play the playstyle. I have to go in the supports, and then once they're, you know, getting peeled for, they're healing each other, I just have to go away and go on the tanks. So then I went back to Iron Fist, I started winning a bunch, and eventually I did hit Eternity, and of course I got stuck around Eternity for a very long time trying to hit one above all. It wasn't working. After a few days, a few weeks, I finally figured out how to play Iron Fist at the very highest level and make him actually a very OP champion. So basically the playstyle is, it is actually just go on their supports. The reason it's good is because if you're on their support, the other support has to heal the other support, and if no one is peeling you off their supports, that means eventually, well, that support's not going to die if he's being healed, but their tanks aren't being healed, so your front line should actually be killing their front line. And if their DPS is on you, that means their DPS is not on your tanks or your front line. Essentially, Iron Fist is a pressure sponge. He wants everyone to hit him. He wants people to hit him so he can block their damage and then get the hit point shield. He forces the enemy to look at him and to hit him, because if he's not dealt with, eventually he's going to cause a terrorism problem in the back line of the enemy. So what I like to do is go on their supports. If their DPS isn't on me, you know, I just keep hitting their supports. Eventually that DPS is going to peel for supports, and then you're taking the pressure off your front line and all the pressure is going on to you, and that's when it's your time to shine, because you're the one tanking for your team for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then you got to go away. But then you come back 5 seconds later and then try and do the same thing. It's really stupid. The only time I will go into tanks is if their healers are dead, or if their tanks are literally diving my supports and then they're not being healed by their healers. In that case, I will try and punch them to death. That's what they call Peel Fist, but Peel Fist is not good against other DPS. If DPS are diving your team, well, you don't do that much damage to them. I'm gonna be honest. It's not your job to peel for Spider-Man or Magic. It's your job to peel for like the Venom, even the Jeff with Ice team up. Yeah, that one's a problem. You make the game essentially a 5v5 and chase the Jeff around the map. Because yeah, if you're going on their tanks while they're being healed, you're just giving the supports ult charge. It's kind of dumb. Now, the games which are hard for Iron Fist are the ones where the enemy has 3 DPS, or even a Punisher with Raccoon. Any team with a very large amount of damage is very bad for Iron Fist, but if they have low amounts of damage, that is where Iron Fist becomes the immortal Iron Fist. So Iron Fist loves it when there's 2-2-2 comps, like 2 tanks. That's when it becomes nice. The only champions that Iron Fist really hates is, like I said, Hela. High burst damage. She can see you if you're just flying at her. You have to use your block preemptively. You can actually 1v1 her, of course, but if she's just staying with her supports, it's very hard to kill her. But she can't contest flanks, of course, because you can easily 1v1 her, so she can't flank anymore. Yeah, Namor is a bit annoying to deal with, but guess what? If he's hitting you while you're hitting the supports, it's a good thing. 1v1 is actually a 50-50 matchup, but he kind of has an edge because he can just outplay you and not hit you, and then you're kind of screwed and you got to walk away. But if he hits you and you get that block charge, then you can actually 1v1 him. Or if you pop his bubble and then you just come back 5 seconds later to kill him. Winter Soldier, like I said, has a very high burst damage, but he's like the third threat. Like first threat is Hela, second threat is going to be Namor. If there's 2 of those 3 champions I mentioned on the same team, that's when the game gets really hard for Iron Fist to play in. It's high burst damage. Even Torch is hard for Iron Fist to play into because he just shotguns you in the face. So yeah, essentially your whole job as Iron Fist is to beat up the enemy supports, survive as much as you can. Like, you have to survive on this champion. If you don't know how to survive on this champion, then it's like not even worth playing it. If you just die randomly or like you just run it down every single game, don't play him. You should play other champions, because again, the biggest key to being good at Iron Fist is surviving on him. Knowing when to right click, knowing when to back out with your shift or just jumping out, knowing how to survive and just fly away with your right click fisting. There's a lot of ways to actually survive with this champion. Your meditation skill is actually probably one of the most, it's not useless, but like it's not the most effective skill on him, right? Like if you're meditating, it just means you're not doing anything, and you don't want to do that. But of course, if there are times where you have to meditate, then yeah, you gotta meditate. Only time I use my meditate is when I'm waiting for my cooldowns, like my right click or my shift, or if I have to heal. But anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll actually make an extreme guide for him a one above all rank 1 Iron Fist guide for you guys, talking about his combos, his mechanics, everything in another video. This was just kind of like a story of how I got the one above all with Iron Fist and becoming the rank 1 Immortal Iron Fist. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.